Okay, so today, guys, we are back with part 2 of Punt or No Punt with Carly, aka donthateme89 on Twitch. Remember to go and check her out on Twitch if you haven't done so already. The link will be in the description below. We've already done part 1, and no spoilers. If you don't know what the scores are, please do go ahead and watch that before you watch this part. But for those who've already seen it, Carly's managed to wangle her way into a 3-1 lead purely by bullshitting me, I think. But you are in the lead and you're 3-1 up, which means that all you need to do is win one hand, Carly, and you'll win.
Oh wow, I'm close. I could win actually. Okay.
Genuinely, you're in danger of winning, which I am not a fan of on Punt or No Punt. But you've definitely gotten the better of me in these. That last hand, if you didn't see hand number 4, I was all over the place, guys. She could have said anything and I'd have believed her. So anyway, this hand we've got King 10, and I'm reliably informed that this might be a hand that I could specialize in due to its multi-way nature.
It is.
Because most of my hands are multi-way, most of them. We're opening King 10 under the gun, and
we're hijack.
We're hijack. Sorry, we're hijack. Still not pure though. Is it? Is it? No.
Yeah, I mean you can. A 500 zoom rake. I think you can open it.
Right. I see. I just stay away from this stuff because 3 people.
Yeah,
you
shouldn't. You shouldn't allow stakes. I don't think so. Yeah,
so we open, which I am not going to argue with any further, and. Oh, you'd love to see it, man. Cool. Oh, yes. Multi-way, 4 ways to the flop. Right.
And
Ben has been very aggressive with me in multi-way pots, so I have some sort of notion of what I'm doing, I think, in these situations.
Okay, that's great. Actually, you can tell me how I should have played this hand.
I wish I hadn't said this now. Basically, what we want to do is check a lot. And everyone will know that I check a whole load in these situations. The only kind of boards that we really want to bet are going to be like ace, king X, and ace high boards, and maybe some king high dry boards. I think this is going to make sense as a check. I don't really think there's any sense in betting here. Do you agree, Carly?
Yeah, I agree.
So we're going to be checking, but we're also going to be checking, I think, honestly, pretty much like all the time. But I'm not certain about that.
Yeah, I would check like this hand obviously all the time, and then I would actually like I guess there can be some betting on this kind of board, but I would just check range.
Yeah, we agree.
4-way, like when we're like 4-way, I would just check range.
There you go, Ben. We're checking range. He's happy. It goes check through, and the turn is a 10. Now we need to think really about like, are we playing with any recreationals here?
Well, I'm assuming that Funnyman, the guy right beside me, is a recreational.
Yeah.
And
But these two can definitely call reasonably behind for sure, especially if this guy's a recreational.
Yeah, the big blind is like, I don't know, borderline player, but the button is definitely a reg.
Right.
So that's all we know.
Yeah. But yeah, like when cutoff calls, Lewis Torelli is going to be like pretty happy to call quite a lot because he's in position on what we assume it might be a weaker player. The turn. Lux player goes for a check, and we're in a situation. So, but the reason I was asking mainly is because do we expect Fonny Man to have any Queen Jack off? I think he would pretty much always. If anyone's going to have Queen Jack off, I mean, Lux player can certainly have Queen Jack off. Torelli, I don't think so. He'd probably have Queen Jack suited, but he may also squeeze that high percentage. And then Fonny Man just has probably the most Queen Jack off, apart from Lux player. I guess we have some as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think we want to bet this turn because getting raised is pretty disastrous, and 4-way the value of our hand just goes down drastically.
Yeah, it feels a bit thin to bet this one.
I think it's too thin. We agree again. We'll go for another check, which I think is entirely reasonable. I don't really want to ever bet call. I don't think we're getting 2 streets from worse, apart from maybe Fondyman has like ace jack, but it's still really difficult. Especially we need to respect that. Lux player can genuinely have like all the Queen Jack off, and he'd probably always check this turn as well to check raise and get a bunch of money in. I'm not sure, but basically what we want to do is check. I'm pretty sure we agree there.
Yeah.
It checks to Lewis, who bets. Now it's interesting because Lewis was, or Louis, he was in position on the flop, so he had the last chance to bet. So really, he doesn't have like pocket 4s anymore, which I don't think he ever has pocket 4s anymore. Absolutely not. So, he's mainly saying he has like Queen Jack, I think, a bunch here. I'm not really sure what else he wants to bet, like, that check back the flop. What do you think?
He could have 10s if he didn't squeeze pre-flop, which is a bit unconventional, but maybe he could do that. And he can have ace 10, yeah, I guess ace 10 would be the bottom I would bet if I was him, and then queen jack sometimes, again, if he didn't squeeze pre-flop.
Right.
So,
I generally try to stay away from stabbing too much multi-way because he will know, Lux player, he should know that he can have a bunch of queen jack. We can have a lot of good hands because we're being really conservative here with our range.
yeah, and we can have queen jack off as well, by the way, because we went from hijack.
Yeah, exactly.
Queen jack off.
So lots of people with queen jack, and we would probably check the turn a bunch as well.
Yeah.
Funny man, it just probably doesn't like folding very much. So it's an interesting spot for Lewis. He's basically, I honestly tend to, when we go multi-way, and especially when we got a weaker player, I tend to think this is quite nutted, to be honest with you.
I agree. Yeah.
Lux player, we have to call because we can boat up. Simple as that, really.
Yeah, I don't think we're folding. Yeah.
We can never ever raise. That would be absolutely disastrous. And Funny man folds, which is a shame. I wanted to go multi-way to the river because I like playing. Well, that's where now I'm back into the realms of. I mean, the ranges that we've constructed are still going to be very relevant. This 4 on the river, I don't think Lewis Torelli ever boats up with this card, and the reason is because he would have bet ace 4 on the flop in position, and he would have bet pocket 4s. Well, that's quads. He never has 10-4, so, and he doesn't have king 4, so he just doesn't have boats. Apart from 10s, maybe. Right?
Well, I think ace 4 could check sometimes in position, actually. Ace 4 is not
That's probably,
great. So he could have, I think, a couple of ace 4 suited. Again, if he didn't squeeze pre-flop, if he didn't bet the flop, it's like a low percentage, of course.
But would you then, if you did decide to check back the flop with ace 4, which is reasonable, would you bet this turn? I don't think so.
You could, but it's thin.
It's thin,
it's thin. Yeah.
So I'm saying I think it's unlikely. I'm going with unlikely, Carly. And I'm also going unlikely, genuinely speaking, that he has a boat. Yes, pocket 10s that didn't squeeze pre. Fine, he can have that. But other than that, he doesn't have quads. He doesn't have aces or kings. Unless Lux player was like an absolute boob in the big blind, that he was like doing a bunch of splashing about and he was trying to trap it. But I think you're just going to always... So he basically just has queen jack.
Pretty much.
We are uncapped.
We are.
Because we were doing a bunch of checking. So we check. Lewis already bets. I'm all in. No, am I all in? I mean, I imagine we're all in. Do I like going all in? Is there better hands to use? Now this is... I'm going to throw something at you here. And I wonder if... I think I may have jumped the gun here. Let me just speak a load of bullshit, and then you can peg me down again like you normally do.
Sounds good.
So, I don't think Lewis Torelli has any boats. You're going to say he's got pocket 10s, so I like having a 10. I would rather bluff a hand that blocked what I expect him to have. If I'm saying he doesn't have any boats, why do I want to block boats? I want to block his calls. So would we not rather have ace queen?
I mean, is he calling with a straight here if I check shop the river?
I mean, if he doesn't have any boats, then I imagine he just has to call. But we just have so many full houses.
Yeah, like again, I thought he would have like sometimes 10s and sometimes ace 4, and I don't know.
6-4, did you say?
Ace 4, ace 4 or 10s.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, ace 4 is a bit thin on the turn, so maybe not. Maybe just 10s, really.
I don't know how you feel about the line that I'm taking here, or my thought process here, but I genuinely don't know. I mean, the thing is, I'm very confused now because I honestly don't think King 10 has that many, like, obviously we block some full houses and we're uncapped, but like, I just think if we use ace jack and ace queen, but the thing is, he just has queen jack. So does it matter? I don't know. Like, he just has queen jack or nothing. But I don't think he ever has nothing when he bets this turn. I really, really don't think he ever.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he's very value oriented. Like, I mean, what? Yeah.
I understand what you've done here, and I know you like having a 10. I like having a 10. I think less than you do because I think he just squeezes pre. But it makes sense for him to have 10s. He wouldn't always squeeze pre. You might want to go multi-way in position against the fish. So having a 10's okay. I'd rather have an ace for the ace-4 potential, and I'd rather have a queen or a jack just in case. But like, if we have I just don't think it matters. Even if we withdraw one combo with a queen or a jack, or like however many combos we take out, even if he still just has queen jack or nothing, or like pocket tens. But I think that's really, look, I am not going to try and get this man to fold queen jack, is what I'm saying to you. And if I did try to do it, I guess I would just rather have like, I'd certainly rather have ace 10.
So you would just fold?
I would just fold. I would rather have ace 10 because we can block pocket tens and ace 4.
I would rather have ace 10 too. I would rather have ace 10.
Our king is just nothing. Our king is nothing.
Yeah, the king is just an unblocker. It's never bluffing a king. It's never betting a king. It's an unblocker. So if I had to pick, I would rather, because like they have the same value, it doesn't really matter. But I would rather have, if he did bet ace 4 somehow on the turn, I would rather have like ace 10 with the like ace of spade or ace of like diamond or something. So
I am going full circle with this. So first of all, I was like, right, I'm all in because he just can't have a boat. And then I was like, well, we can't just go all in with everything. Why don't we just have like a queen or a jack to block him? And then I was like, well, he just has queen jack. So I really don't want, it doesn't matter if I block it, even like a little bit, because he's just going to have queen jack because he bet into 3 people on the turn.
True.
And now I'm like, I just want to have, if I'm going to do this, it's going to be very infrequently, I think. Ace 10, I'm going to have offsuit and suited. So it's like, we've still got enough combos given that we're going to check shove here a lot because we're going to have kings, we're going to have aces, we're going to have 10s. We're going to have, I mean, we may raise a turn, but I don't think we would. And we also maybe bet the flop, but I'm not sure. But basically, I think we have a lot of boats.
Yeah, we do.
But
we have tons of boats.
Yeah, but I don't think it means we can just go all in all willy-nilly. I think we want to have a better combo than this. And I think the absolute main reason that I don't want to do this is exploitatively. I just don't think that this man
people are folding. Yeah, that's the point. I mean, I don't think he has a bluff either, and maybe people are not folding. I thought that like being multi-way, maybe they play tighter, even tighter into calling shove, like tighter into betting. But I don't think the bet is ever a bluff. But also he would fold some straights or stuff like that. I thought maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we need him to fold a straight. I think a lot.
Exactly. So I thought he would fold straight and just like maybe mix some calls with straights, sure, but then maybe just call me with tens and ace 4 if he has those again, but maybe he doesn't because like we said, he would squeeze 3. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just very unnecessary.
I think it's unnecessary because we're not playing head in this spot. Like the man's presence in this spot just makes me think that Lewis is just not bluffing the turn. We're now asking him to fold queen jack. I don't want to ask him to fold queen jack with everything that I have. I want him to ask him to fold queen jack with my very, very best bluffs, which I believe is ace 10. I don't think having a queen or a jack is that great because I just think he's just going to... I'd probably rather have it than king 10, but I just think he's going to flick it in with queen jack regardless. If he knows... I mean, he might think... He's obviously going to have to think about how often he's going to defend this when you do shove. Is he going to think, I've got ace 4, I've got a 10s? I'm not sure. Is he going to be like, I've got to call queen jack because...
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I hope he has queen jack after all this. Anyway, I imagine we're all in because we're playing punt or no punt. We are all in. I'm going with punt. Do you think that's fair?
Fair. I think it's a bit unnecessary. I could have just fold and save my money because I got called. And I'm not good.
We got called. Well, I imagine if we get called, we're not going to win.
We got called by a hand that we didn't think possible he had, though. We got called by a hand.
Well, my analysis is all... I mean, by the way... If we get called by something that isn't a straight, then I mean, I guess he has a boat, right?
I was not expecting that.
Wow.
I was not expecting that. But he checked back the flop with force, which I wouldn't. But
that is an egregious flop check. I mean, we spent a lot of time saying, look, no pocket 4s, but like
no pocket 4s, like just ruling it out and here he is with his pocket 4s.
What do you mean you've got quads and someone's just got king 10 and they've just gone absolutely mental? Fair enough.
That's why assumptions multi-way pots are really complicated, right? You don't know how people... Obviously, if it was an heads-up pot, he would never check force, right? But like, he must have checked because in 4-way, I don't know why. I would never check force, especially with a recreational in the pot, with a weaker rag in the pot. No,
I would never. But the point remains, Lewis is just going to have loads of fucking good hands, and we're asking him to fold them, and I think that's too optimistic. Fair, Carly?
Fair. A bit ambitious, this one.
Ambitious, definitely, and it's because of Funneman's presence that makes it punt.
Yeah, I can give up a pot if I should.
You can give this one up. It's not like we're heads up and we've had like some sort of
exactly. You're not getting exploited or anything. You don't really necessarily need to have too many bluffs or balance your value range or stuff like that. I mean, theoretically you should, but really in multi-way I tend to play a bit tighter and don't be too creative because
even though I never gave him fours, I think this is the most in so far in these hands I felt a little bit out of my depth, way out of my depth. This hand I was much more in the realms of 10 and L snap pool, so I enjoyed this one.
Okay, good.
3-2, Carly. 2 hands to go. You need one of them to win.
Okay.
Let's go and have a look at hand number 5. Okay, guys, hand number 6. And we have Queen Deuce in the big blind with Carly 3-2 up. I'm sure this is a nervous time for you, Carly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really trying to get one right.
Just one. All you need is one. All you need is one.
Yeah, exactly. One no punt.
Let's see. Queen Deuce. We call. That is a flop. I've seen some flops before that I can confirm that is a flop. We check, which we're going to do all the time. Yeah, unless you're the wacko.
Yeah, no donkey.
Which we're not. So we check because we're a normal human being. And we have some options, I guess, against half pot. Would you like to talk about them? I don't mind putting money in here. I've got a pretty good hand. I don't mind calling either. It doesn't seem like we can make a mistake apart from folding.
Exactly, apart from folding. I mean, you could check raise sometimes, but super low frequency with this hand. But yeah, any queen x with diamond is probably a candidate, and then we're gonna have some like ace 10 off with ace of diamond, or like king 8 off maybe with the king of diamond. Some 10x, any 10x could raise potentially, preferably with a spade. So yeah, I mean, I would more often call this one than raise, but if you rolled really high you could raise for sure.
Okay, I like a call. I think it plays really well as a call. So we do call. Things get better. I mean, unless he starts absolutely piling money in, unfortunately. Do we know anything about Teenage Turtle before we continue?
Is a regular that plays like 200 and 500 zoom, so just
more checking please, Carly. Hold on. And
we could play some.
We could donkey donk.
We could donkey donk.
Okay.
I mean, when it's like low frequency, like less than 20% or stuff like that, I personally don't really do it. Don't have it in my game. The wacko will find a donkey donk here with sometimes.
Yeah.
And this time could be a candidate to donkey donk.
I love that. There was one line that he said in the video we did together where he was like, sometimes I just donkey donk, and then the solver says no donkey donk, because he just enjoys donk, like it makes it fun for him, which I think is really cool. Anyway, we're just gonna check I think most of the time we can consider it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, we can just check range and not lose EV probably. Yeah.
Now I am pretty against check raising. I'm not sure what continues that we're happy about, to be honest. So calling for sure here, and I don't really want to. I don't think it's worth talking about anything else too much. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think we're just calling here. Yeah.
So we call, and because if we raise here, he's mainly going to continue with like straights and boats, and he might even fold. Like, what are we actually going to get continued against that we beat? I'm not actually sure. There's much like that has to. Or they also bet the turn. Like, is he really going to bet like kings or aces on the turn? I don't think so. So I think, or maybe he will, but he's maybe going to be like not continuing versus a turn raise.
Yeah.
So I think we're just calling. This is a disastrous run out. I imagine we're getting fruity again. We're gonna go for the check, which is good because we don't have ace king, and he has more boats, probably. Yep. And he has more king x. Does he have king x?
Yeah.
Would he bet ace king though on the turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So he just is doing quite well on the turn. And he's gonna have king queen as well. So
king queen is a big one, yeah.
Yeah, and king 10. So all offsuit combos of king 10. So he just has a lot of king x. He has a lot of boats. He's just got some really good hands. I think because he has a lot of king x and a lot of like really strong boats as well. He mainly just wants to use like again 75% and like maybe like a really big bet. I'm not sure all in, but like big bets and all it and like over bets. Would you say it's fair?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're expecting a bit of both, and he goes for the big bet kind of thing.
Yeah, he would want to bet even bigger than this, but there is a tiny bit of this.
Okay,
I guess it's fine.
We're on the right lines then. That's good because we haven't been on the right lines very often. Well, I haven't at least. And now we have to decide whether. And again, we had a situation before that we had trips, and it was just like, well, we just don't beat anything, and we just don't beat anything. We beat nothing that value bets, obviously. So I think that's more obvious now than it was in the 8-6 of club stands in part 1, because we could beat some stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
But this time we're just like super dead against value. I don't see how we can possibly just call. So we're either going to fold, or we're going to go all in.
Yeah.
I don't know what I prefer. I mean, basically, what are we looking to get him to fold? King X. I think the main King X that he has is King Queen. Would you think that's fair? Or Ace King? But I'm talking about solely King X because I'm not sure Ace King is allowed to.
He's gonna have King Jack, King Queen, King 10. Yeah. This kind of things. Yeah.
He's gonna have King Jack. Yeah, King 10 obviously is a straight
Ace
on the turn.
Ace King. Yeah. I mean, King Jack actually. Whatever. Yeah, I'll tell you after. But yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna let me hang myself first. That's good. That's good strategy. So we block some good stuff. We block some boats. Obviously, he's going to have. I don't think he he probably does have Queen 10. He's gonna check back sometimes on the flop, I guess, but he's gonna have some Queen 10. He's gonna have some Queen Jack, absolutely. But he's maybe do some checking back on the turn. I'm not sure. Looking at the board quite heavily, but I think he still probably mostly want to bet. Pocket 10s, I don't think so. Pocket 9s, absolutely. So we do block some. We do Queen 9 as well. We do block some boats. We block some pretty strong boats.
Yeah, because he has all the half combos as well, right? So we do block a lot of boats. Yeah,
we block his best. We block his best hands, which is really good. We want him to fold a king, and I imagine Ace King. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like he is gonna call King Queen more than he calls Ace King, right? Because at least he has a blocker. It doesn't matter because like it's not that you want to have the higher straight.
Yeah.
Ace King or King Queen has the same value. Either I have a bot or I'm bluffing, right? And King Queen just blocks a bit more value. So if he had to pick a King X to go, we'll call King Queen.
So I think if we're going to want to bluff here, we're going to want to have a queen, probably.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Can we put hang on. Can we just put some there we go. Let's put lots of money
just to make sure. Make sure we did it.
Just in case we start. Just in case we call and you're like, I called.
Oh, I just called. Sorry.
So we're all in, and yeah. I mean, we're gonna want to have a queen. We do have a bunch of Queen X. We can't go all in every time that we have a queen. Because if we did that, we have Queen X of diamonds, like a lot of Queen X of diamonds. We have, I'm thinking about this now because we have, we have like Queen Deuce, Queen 3, Queen 4, Queen 5, Queen 6, Queen 7, as like, they all make sense. Yeah. How many like really good hands do we have? How many bluffs do we need? Well, we have like, would you check raise the flop with like Queen Jack, Queen 9?
Never with Queen 9. Maybe sometimes with Queen Jack, yeah.
We're just trying to figure out how many boats we have. Because we didn't check raise the flop, so I don't think we have pocket 9s. And we may have raised that pre anyway. So how many boats do we have? Or does it matter, Carly?
We have a little bit. We have Queen Jack, we have Queen 9, we have Queen 10.
Queen 10 we definitely have, yeah. Okay. I don't see how we can really have any many better hands than this because I mean,
so to bluff, some people would use something like Jack 9 sometimes.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Jack 9 seems good. We will check call the turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a problem with Jack 9,
which you're not going to tell me.
According to Value Solver.
Yeah. I think having a queen is the best thing to have. I'm just thinking whether we would call flop, call turn with like. I'm concerned about how many. I mean, as long as you don't do this all the time, I think I'm just concerned about how much Queen X we get to the river with. Where we're like, well, I'm just all in. Do you know what I mean? Like Queen, for example, Queen 5 of clubs. We would play the same way, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a lot.
Actually, we're never gonna use Queen 5. just because he has some bluff in the 5 region, like
of course,
always according to value, like 6-5, 5-4, some unblocker. So queen 5 is like our worst queen to use. We prefer stuff that like don't really block his folds.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, basically you're telling me, I mean, you're doing it again, aren't you? Let's be honest. If you saw part 1, guys, I got absolutely roped into so many no punts. But yeah, I just don't.
I mean, folding is fine. Calling is fine. Oh
yeah, sure.
Shoving maybe it's fine. You tell me. I don't know. You do a lot of things with this hand. It's not one or the other. It's really depending what you think he's betting. Like, I mean, yeah, Payo will mix all 3, I guess. But what do you think? Like, do you think this one performs well? Do you think people are betting a lot of king X on the river for that size, and then therefore they're always, folding? They would maybe overbet full houses.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think they would probably bet this sizing with full houses that block the board like pretty heavily, like Queen Jack. But like pocket 9s, I expect them to bet a lot bigger. So when they do bet this sizing, having a queen is just better than having Jack 9, I think. So
yeah. Also, according to Payo, still he will fold the 9 sometimes, which is not happening in real life.
9s. I'm not folding. I'm not folding to you after this.
No, I mean, I don't even think it's ever happening. So like, that's why Jack 9 doesn't get picked as much, because he actually blocks some folds.
Cool.
But I don't think people are actually ever folding 9s here.
Yeah.
The other thing though is that Payo again would not bet King Jack on the river, because it's actually 2-10, I guess. I don't know. He's betting King Queen and Ace King, but never King Jack, and goes block some of our calls, I guess, and stuff like that. But I think people will always back in Jack for this sides, probably very often.
So we're talking exploitatively. We might find some more folds. You mean when we do this?
I think so. Yeah.
I agree, and I like the fact that he's bet this sizing, which I think is more in line with like a weak, like a king, like a weak straight, or like a boat that locks the board hard,
like Queen Jack.
Yeah.
So I think it looks like either
because otherwise I think pocket 9s just want to just bet really big. So on Jacks, I think they just want to bet bigger because we can have some other stuff. I like this. I'm going to go with no punt.
It's a super low frequency thing as usual, but you can do it. Very low frequency, very low frequency.
Yeah.
So.
How low frequency are we talking? Oh, look at that. We get it through. I mean, the no punt, obviously no punt. Like, obviously. Obviously
no punt because it worked out. Yeah. If it works, it's good.
But like you said.
That's why for the king 10, you said it was a punt because we got called by quad. So that was bad.
Exactly, yeah. I just like it against this sizing exploitatively. Like, Payo, great. But forget it for a second. Like, I just think that this sizing is less so... the pocket 9 boats that we expect to get called by, even if Payo says we don't, right? So you're really talking about more real life situation.
It feels like a greedy bat with a king, and it feels like we can get it.
You know what it is, Carly? It's disrespectful. Is what it is, and you showed him. You showed him what you think. So that's good.
Exactly.
So you've won. But
wow.
we've got.
I selected the hands bad then.
No, I don't know. You either selected the hands bad and then just was like, right, well, I'm just not going to lose. I'm just going to convince him that everything's like low frequency fine. But to be honest, like, I just think this is okay for the reasons we talked about. But you've won. Congratulations. We've got another hand. Before we get the party poppers out, we've got one more hand to do. So let's go and do that. We've got pocket 4s, I believe. Hand number 7. Let's go. All right, so hand number 7, guys. Our last hand. Carly's already won, so this is her victory lap, if you will. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you dust it all off. I'm not going to lie. But I think people are going to be like, oh, you've given a few too many no punts. But something that stuck in my mind after the last punt or no punt was Clancy. If you haven't seen that, you need to go and watch that, because that guy is rather good at this game. And he was like, okay, so I've done this thing. You've told me you need to bluff. I've done it. I've done it at the frequency that is required, because me knows every frequency ever. And I've done it, and you still don't like it, and you've still given me a punt. Why have you done that? I'm like, that's a very good point. So if I can make sense of it, I'm trying to be a bit more lenient. People are allowed to win. It's okay. And I think that these have been, we know there was a hand in part 1, hand number 3. We don't speak about that hand. Carly doesn't want to speak about that hand anymore. So pocket 4s, we're going to open the button.
So you're just saying that I got lucky that I came here after Clenty because you soften up a little bit and, you know, you're being nicer. You're trying to.
I would say you're definitely lucky to go after Clenty, but also because he just taught me that you're allowed to bluff. You pretty much can do anything you want as long as you do it, as long as it's somewhere in there. So I'm going to be
low frequency.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little bit more lenient from now on. I think, especially with people that are following theory pretty closely. We're going to do a 10-0 one with Weasel, which will not include much of that talk soon. But yeah, I think that's true. You're definitely lucky to go after Clanty. But you're also, I think these mostly okay. Maybe you brought on easy hands. Who knows? Whose fault is it?
Maybe.
Could be mine. Could be yours.
My fault. I might have.
No, I think these are pretty spicy. This is fair. So what we've got here, guys, is Chips and Chris and Manny. If you guys didn't watch the Bean 500 Zoom video, Bean polarized both of their asses that day. We're playing against Chips and Chris, and this was exactly the positions that Bean played when he stacked him. So you know what? I actually want you to win now. Sure. Let's call. I think we're calling a lot, always.
Yeah, probably.
And Chips and Chris plays very quickly, doesn't he? He literally just like instantly clicks.
It's famous for that, yeah.
So he instantly bets. I mean, we're always going to fold pocket fours. Obviously, we don't have a club. I'm not a massive fan of defending it with a club, but it is a very small bet. What do you think?
Yeah, so we're gonna mix all the pairs pretty much with a club, but we're folding more the one in the middle because they're worst blockers for, you know, later streets. And we're calling more stuff like deuces, twos, threes, and fours, more than like 5, 6, 7s, and 8s, I think. 8s is gonna call quite often actually. And usually, we do prefer to have the double blocker on board as well because we have more bluff possibilities. We hit cleaner outs when we hit our 4, so it's good to have the double blocker here.
That makes sense. I like that because if we hit a set, we don't, you know, he doesn't make straights. Is that what you mean? Like so.
Also we hit a set when it's not club.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
and when it's not double draw, so he's gonna, you know, play more aggressive.
So less because we have the backdoor flush, or more because if we hit a set, he doesn't make a flush, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's both. Yeah.
So we're calling. We probably would have folded to slightly bigger bets, right?
Yeah, probably.
Ace
I mean, up to 1 third we'll call sometimes.
Okay.
That one is a bit smaller, but yeah, up to 1 third we'll call.
Cool. Ace of hearts and Chips checks. Now, do we want to start bluffing or do we want to show down? What are your thoughts? Do you need to start bluffing?
I think we need to. I think when we call this kind of like really low pairs, we really want to start bluffing the turn, and they performs pretty well because like he's gonna be forced to like eventually by the river for some kings, queens, jacks, some 10x, some 9x. So obviously he's never folding an ace, but yeah.
He's never folding an ace, no. What, by the river?
I mean, maybe on some rivers, maybe on some rivers.
Do you think it would? Yeah, so some rivers. Maybe it'll be when we get to the river, we might talk about it. But would it be worth at all considering that his smaller aces might fold and unblocking ace 4 that he might always have here is like we have the heart on the club is the best pocket fours to have in that case because he can have ace 4 that folds the river.
Okay, so it's a little bit. So first of all, he can keep barreling this turn for like 33% for like a small size.
Okay.
And weirdly enough, like in the sim, he prefers to actually barrel the small ace-x, then block more of our calls. So he prefers to have some checks in the ace king, ace queen, ace jack region.
Right.
Because we're still gonna call on the turn of queen jack, queen 10, king 10, jack 10, stuff like that, right? So and he prefers to always bet the lower ones, like ace 4, ace 5, ace 7, stuff like that. Okay. So now, checking is fine, of course. And if he checks, our pocket fours are actually the worst ones because now they don't block ace 4, and ace 4 is never folding on the turn. So we would prefer to have a different combo of pocket fours, but it's still fine to bet.
I meant by the river mainly. I know he's not going to fold it now, but maybe ace x, maybe ace 4 would be something that he would fold if we went bet all in. That's what I was basically. I'm getting a little bit far ahead of myself, I think.
Yeah, he will probably maybe start folding some trips if a flush completes.
Right.
Then that's possible.
Well, we're all in if a flush completes, aren't we?
Yeah, if the river is a brick, he's never he's never folding an ace.
Okay.
Ever.
Great. Yeah. Okay, good to know. We bet small. So what is the worst hand you would bet here for value?
We can even, it's weird, we can even bet some 10x sometimes for like some weird protection slash, you know, like, yeah.
That makes sense, because he's going to have like lots of draws that want to continue.
Yeah.
So we go for the small bet, which I think is fine.
Yeah, we're just going to small bet.
Chips, snap calls.
Yeah.
Doesn't even think about it. 8 of spades. Check. Right. How do we feel about our hand? Right. So now, like what I was saying about the pocket fours, you say is this a brick, or are you going to have some queen jack?
Yeah, he's not going to have queen jack very often. We have queen jack more than he does, maybe. He would, but
right.
Yeah.
So it's not a brick, but it's like, and what I'm saying is, would he fold the ace 4 now? Would we rather have the other 4s? Would we even bluff those?
No, he would not fold ace 4.
Okay. So, right. So it makes our hand worse.
He's not folding any ace here, but it still has a lot of like kings, queens, jacks, and axe.
Especially when we use a small sizing on the turn, his range stays relatively wide.
Exactly. Yeah. If we bet bigger, it would be different. But now he has to defend the turn with a lot of hands still that are not an ace, right? So
yeah. So when we do bet the turn for small sizing, I think we now have a snap check with a 10. Or do we want to ever bluff that?
Probably not.
Yeah. So we're going to check a 10. So basically, when we bet small on the turn and then we go all in on the river, you just absolutely blast off every opportunity, don't you?
Now this, whatever, you go ahead.
I'm now gonna again trying to find a bluff that's, you know, that we want to have here. Obviously queen, if we did bet queen jack on the turn, then we now have a straight, so that's no longer a bluff. King queen we don't really want to have, because he would want him to fold queens and kings, I guess. Yep. What are we wanting him to fold? I mean, like you said, he just has a lot. He has a lot of because he's gonna have like a 10x here because of the sizings that we use on the turn. He's gonna have a 10, maybe some 9x as well.
Yeah, like 9x of art. We'll have
kings, queens, jacks that we unblock.
Queen 10, jack 10. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of those. So we would never really use Broadway because they perform really bad. Yeah. It's not about blocking is ace x, because ace x they're all calling also. I mean, it will have more ace queen and ace jack because he has the off combos as well. He doesn't have ace 4 off or stuff like that. But most of his folds are coming from that region, from the Broadway region. Yeah,
which we thoroughly unblock. We've also got a shit hand. Really?
Yeah, we're never good. We're never checking for any EV. Like maybe he has sometimes king, queen of clubs, king, queen of hearts, stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah.
We're all in, aren't we? We have to be all in.
I think Colleen is good on the river. Yeah. I think all these pairs like 2s, 3s, and 4s. If we could prefer, we would rather have the other combination of 4s, like you said. Yeah. So
because he's always going to call ace 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is the best one to call on the flop, is the worst one to bet on the turn, but then we still pure bluff river with all these pairs pretty much.
I can't obviously give no punt for this, guys. Look, I'm going to get called a simp, but like, did Carly just bring on a bunch of hands that I couldn't give no punt to? You decide. Am I a simp, or is Carly just rigged it for herself? I never see the hands before, so I can't be like, no, fuck off. You can't have that one. I have to work with what I've got. This is what I have, and this is an all in.
I mean, you can disagree with me though. You can disagree. You can check the turn. You can fold the flop.
No, we're gonna have to, if we call the flop, like how many worse hands do we have than 4s? Like we just have to bet, I think, and then we just
I think,
and we just have to be all in, because like, I mean, we just do such a good job on blocking folds, and we just can't really
exactly. Unblockers are pretty good here, right?
And we have some fucking good hands as well. We called the button. We're gonna have ace 10. You can have
we have tons of ace
pocket 9s. We have 10s.
We have queen jack now. Yeah.
Ace 9. Ace 8.
Yeah.
We're just doing great. We're all in. We're all in, Carly. Well done. 5-2. I'm gonna get so much shit for this, but 5-2. What more can I do? You guys decide. Did Carly bring on too many soft hands, or am I just going soft myself? Notes in the comments, guys. Anyway, let's get it through one time. Chips? Oh, fuck. no dice.
We got snapped. We got snapped.
Now, we need, as long as we don't see like something absolutely disrespectful like kings, we're fine. If we get called by ace, I mean, we're getting snapped by Chips anyway, because he already decided what he's going to call before he checks, doesn't he? So
true.
The snap call doesn't mean much. But if we get called by like kings here, then that's pretty gross. But if we get called by ace queen, we're gonna say that's okay, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. Ace king would be super okay. But
we've already understood that he's not folding that.
No, never folding an ace.
And he also, I mean, do we ever have like 6-7? Is his 7 relevant in that way, or not really?
Yeah, not really. I don't think we are getting the turn very often with that one.
Look, Chips is just not folding. He just isn't folding. I mean, is anyone ever going to fold to you again, is the question. You seem to be all in a very great deal and never really have very much. So maybe something we need to work on.
I'm just going to start showing the nuts now, or like very thin value, so I get hero called.
But it's hard to have the nuts, though. It's very difficult.
It is. I mean,
I never even have top pair. So like having the nuts is like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Right. We get called. Chips, nice hand. And that's it. You won 5-2.
Wow.
Egregious, guys. Roast me in the comments. But now, we're going to do a little outro, and that'll be it. So that's it, guys. Punt or no punt with Don't Hate Me 89 is all wrapped up with a resounding victory. I'm very, very worried about how this is going to go over. But what we are going to do, as we always like to do in the outro screen, is push a big pile of money, of Don't Hate Me's money, over to Chips and Chris' lap.
That's painful.
Just confirms what we already knew, that Bean is the greatest of all time. Certainly better than Carly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you want to see Bean polarize Chips and Chris, then Bean 500 Zoom video, go and check it out. But that's it. That was loads of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that you were, not sure what to expect, but I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I did. It was really fun. Thank you so much for doing this with me, actually.
Absolutely. And thanks for coming on, guys. Again, if you haven't checked out Don't Hate Me stream, the link will be in the description below. You definitely want to go ahead and do that. Not many cash game streamers that are out there. Only a few of us. I can barely name 10, to be honest with you. This is one that you definitely need to check out. I'm sure you've picked that up over the course of this video. Don't hate me, Carly. That's going to do it. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Have a good Christmas, and
you too.
Well, by the time you see this, guys, it probably would already been Christmas, but what choice do I have? 5-2. Congratulations. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and like the video. It really helps me out. That's going to do it. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Take care. Bye.